half of USA. If someone had like half of its supply, it could probably buy like a third of the world, which is crazy. You know, it's the only factor we see this way is if XRP and Ripple start buying the supply and buy like 95% of it, that's when we could be seeing 600. And a burn is going to be a real thing. That's why I believe that $20 is possible, because if they do these token burns, these are going to be gone from the market forever.
Cross-border payments or a bridge asset. Or
again, no more XRP can be done, and more is getting burned every single day. I think it's like $3,000 burned every single day for XRP. So that's a lot of money that stacks up.
You know, to launch stablecoins on, or any of these types of things. And so you start to look at, you know, other partnerships and other things that Ripple's doing. Smoke Dog does a great job about posting a lot of this information. Some of the information is clickbaity, but some of the information is very well and accurate. And so he posted this: Ripple, a new technological approach to integrate cross-border transfers, created in 2005, headquartered in the United States, works in test mode with more than 100 banks: Santander, Bank of America, Access Bank, Standard Chartered, and then of course unlimited scalability.
So 100 banks, this is good. This is just the test mode. So once they go full release, imagine, that could be the real deal. Right now, they're still testing stuff, right? They're preparing for the big wave of transfers that are going to be coming in.
It is designed to improve existing payment technologies by accelerating exchange operations and facilitating the trade of flow of illiquid assets. And, you know, what Ripple's been working on the last few years is just basically showing these institutions that, hey, we have products that far exceed the technology that you've been using for the last 50 years. And at what point, you know, are your customers going to start knocking down your door demanding these types of products? I mean, think if you're a business, or if you...
I feel like they're still developing like some sort of product. Again, this takes time. It's not going to be like overnight, but it's going to take probably years. And it took 13 years with Ripple to get, you know, to win the lawsuit, get its own partnership with Bank of America. And in the next 13 years, it's going to be a lot easier.
Are somebody that moves a lot of money around the planet. You want to be able to get that money wherever it needs to go as quickly, efficiently, and as cheaply as possible. And if you can't do that with the SWIFT system anymore, then you need to start using these blockchain rails. Now, I do think a lot of these payments will be used with stablecoins and not XRP, but XRP still has...
They did mention, though, that XRP will be getting some sort of utility. Again, stablecoins and Ripple is not connected to XRP, but XRP was kind of hinted that they could find ways to give more utility to XRP.
It's a great use case. And if you're using RLUSD on the XRP ledger, that is going to require XRP as the gas token. And it says Ripple XRP is actively used.
And they are also mentioning that there could be other types of basically transfers or use cases. It's not just the gas for the stable coins on the big ledger machine that's going to be very fast that the banks will use. So they will literally have to buy XRP for gas, which is going to be very cheap for them to run these transfers. Maybe it adds up if they have billions of volume. So there's going to be buybacks and burns in that sense, which is very bullish. But there's going to be other stuff as well. You know, who knows? Maybe payment transfers will have buybacks. Maybe they will make an XRP phone. There's tons of potential here.
Or in advanced testing phases among major global banks. As 2025 RippleNet, the network underpinned Ripple's technology, serves over 300 financial institutions across 45 countries, with more than 40% of these using XRP for on-demand liquidity. So you have 300 financial institutions across 45 countries, and 40% of those institutions are using XRP. Now, the demand might not be there to use this for tens of billions or hundreds of billions or trillions of dollars per year yet, but we are surely getting to a point where...
And they also said that the knowledge is not ready yet, right? For billions and trillions of volume. The ledger is not ready, but it's ready for like $100,000 per second, 300,000, 3 million, whatever it is, 10 million per second. That is okay, right? But the system will crash if they have literally bank level volumes, but they're working towards that. And it's going to take probably another 2-3 years. Once it's done, it's very bullish.
We're going to have maybe a flip of the switch moment or a crack off moment where, you know, this starts to get used on a much larger scale, much more quickly. And we're really waiting to see what that adoption could look like as far as the price. Now, Santander launched OnePix, I believe, back in 2018. I don't really need to get into that. Of course, we know all the information about Bank of America. I don't need to bore you with that. Standard Chartered of the bank is documented, partnered with Ripple, and has conducted several pilot programs leveraging Ripple and XRP to trade finance, real-time cross-border payments. Standard Chartered's leadership has publicly discussed shifting away from
major Asian and European institutions are involved. Again, it's not just USA. There's a misconception. 80% of Japanese banks are projected to be integrating XRP by 2025. Maybe less than that. Maybe it's gonna, but right now what we're seeing is just test, right? Test mode to production deployments. But often in seconds, cost efficiency, currencies, assets, and scalability. These are things that the banks right now do not have, and they will ask XRP for.
These payments settle within an hour or the same day, but you still have the gigantic cost that comes along with using the SWIFT system.
Now, if you use a SWIFT, it's going to take like half a dollar, 20 cents, and XRP does it for a tenth of a cent. So banks literally see that they can save millions by integrating XRP. Even if they have to buy XRP coin or whatever they have to do, or pay money to Ripple and then buy XRP coin, it's still going to work. If they have to pay a subscription, they're going to still save a lot of money. They're going to make payments transfer. People will be happy.
If you are looking at two different systems and both can get your payment there in the same hour or within 5 minutes, but one is, maybe thousands of dollars and one is a penny, what makes sense there, right? Can you stay in business?
That's why people believe in XRP. That's why there's so many viewers for XRP. So this is crazy for XRP news. Again,